So I've been asked a number of questions recently about how to fit surfaces onto scan data. In Alias, there's a number of ways. Obviously, there's the manual way where you fit a surface and then manually push and pull points, but we have a number of different tools in here to do that. The surface from mesh, which is the new one, which I'm going to look at. There's also various tools in surface edit, so we can fit, scan, and refit surfaces. We're going to focus today just on the surface from mesh tool because I think there's a number of tools in here that people aren't actually aware of. So let's have a look at the different modes. So simple surface. If I pick on the scan, then I pick an area. The blue highlight is what it's going to fit to. So I can say build, and it builds me a surface. I can go and carry on adding to that selection by just clicking down with the mouse, and you can see it's growing the selection all over when I pull, and that's based on this maximum angle to normal. So it's growing that selection based on that. I can update this, use spacebar as well, and then I can drag that point out to here maybe and update that selection. We can look at the deviation to that, so how close the proximity is, and we've got a number of checkpoints and a scale that we can add to the deviation so we can see it more clearly. Let's turn on auto update and just undo that now. So that's one of the start points. We could do the same here. Pick the selection, grow that selection around here, have it auto update, move the points in the same way to get maybe a more better selection. So let's move and change, because obviously that's doing a certain amount, but we want it to maybe overextend. So I could change from simple surface to theoretical surface. That then gives me a theoretical surface extended out over the fillets in this case, and I can do some reorientation of that to get it better aligned and better positioned for what I maybe want to do. Has a certain use to a certain point, and then I'm going to need to go in and manually work on this. So that's two of the different options. Let's undo that, and let's look at the top side here. So we've got a condition here where if I put on the curvature comb, the curvature valuation, and I just play with the radius values a little bit, you can see that we've got some radius values starting to appear with the red, where they're higher rates of curvature, which I don't want to fit to. I want to fit slab surfaces in between and then potentially overbuild. So let's just go back to the scan, reinstigate the tool, starting with a simple surface. So same thing happens. I pick an area. And I keep the mouse held down. You can see it's nicely picking different areas there for me in the selection. The selection automatically updates because I'm in auto update. But now I want to go in and say, well, I want to brush and I want to remove this area. So I can go in and brush. I can change the pick radius of the brush selection. A bit bigger because the polygons of this scan are a little larger. And I can go in and add those in or remove them. So I can go in and add or remove. And I can be selective and have this update nice and intuitively. Now, the way this is working, as I come to this rolled edge or this edge with the fillet, I don't really want to go all the way around the edge. So there is some intelligence in the tool that it won't overbreak situations like this. So it will still roll round, but it won't over select. So when I go to something that's over the other side, you can see my mouse pointer's here. When I cross over, it starts to select. So I have to go over with the mouse pointer to deselect and reselect the different areas. So I can be quite controlled in the way I'm building this and the way I'm using it. Reduce my selection control, and I can go in and start to add in the selection and make sure I really got just the polygons I want to fit to. So that gives me a surface which is okay so far. It's not the best because it's not bounding to this edge. And what I want to now change is from simple surface to match mesh boundaries. By doing that, it's going to try and match the mesh boundaries, and here you can see that there's some shape there that I want to follow. I don't want that surface to stop short, so that when I start to carry on building this, it will get into the right place. I can go in and just adjust maybe some more pointers and controls to get that a little closer. So I've got a number of ways of controlling this surface and getting it to be exactly where I want it to be. When you're using the tool as well, obviously I need to go and modify this position as well. Not quite holding in the right place. Bit of tuning on that end maybe. But when I'm working with this, I also want to have smooth on because I want to get the best smooth surface in there as possible. CVs are already in control or always on. So I can go in and I can change the transparency maybe of my mesh. Make it even more transparent so I can see through it and see the points through it. And that means then I can start to fit this and maybe add in some additional rows to get the fit to be a lot closer. And I can start and carry on working with this, developing it using the different tools. So I've used a normal angle of selection. I can do a curvature angle of selection, which we'll show you in just a second. And I can use a lasso. So I can actually use all these different methods to build out this surface. So let's go back to normal angle, go back to my simple surface, pick this area. You can see here it's growing and building this. If I say curvature, I could pick the whole of that area in one go. Let's go back to normal angle so you can see it. What it's done is picked the whole of that patch based on the curvature values that I was working with. In this instance, it's maybe not the best, so I can just go in and maybe brush out these areas, have it update, and then it will fit just to that one area. I can pull that back as well. Maybe once I've done this, I want to come out of the tool, and I might at this point say, well, actually now I've got what I want, so I'm going to break the history. I'm going to use extend to extend that boundary out. Delete the history and say OK. So I can overbuild this theoretical surface to get it to where I want it to be. I would have probably done some more refitting, but maybe I could build this theoretical surface out further and start to work with it. So hopefully that helps to explain a tool that I think has been a little hidden to a lot of people, surface from mesh. Lots of different options and controls. I haven't explored all of them, but hopefully they're self-explanatory now. We've given you a bit of direction on how to use them.